American girl, be careful. We have that power.
So taboo in the culture, but it's like everyone knows.
You know,
Chisme.
Sin Censura.
Oh my
My
God. Oh, this is one of my favorite topics. Así que,
I know.
salud.
Salud, cafecito.
This is one of my, like I said, one of my favorite topics. It's so juicy.
Oh
It's
my God.
it is so filled with so much drama.
American girl, be careful where are you going in the Caribbean because we have that power.
So much, I mean, it's a little bit taboo in the country,
I'm really taboo in the country.
but we got to talk about it because
I
it's
know.
it is like so entrenched in Cuban culture today. Unfortunately, it is.
Oh my God, she can stay all day, every day, in the week, 24 hours, talking about this stuff. Guys, seriously.
I
every
love
day.
it.
I love
it.
it. She loves that topic.
And so, of course, you guys can see in the title, we're going to be talking about jineteros.
Jineteros.
So,
Bueno, okay, jinetero, jinetera, para que la gente no se sienta ofendida.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
jinetero
oh my
or
God.
jinetera. So it could be man or a woman.
Okay.
But we're going to be talking about jineteros. And I think we need to explain to you guys what a
Yeah.
jinetero is before we even start with the tea, with
Oh,
the
yeah.
cafecito, right? We have to explain what it is because a lot of people don't know what it is. A lot of you guys have no idea what a jinetero is.
I know. Before you come in, I want to say hey, thank you for our followers, support this content, our channel, because that's important for us. We love it. Do it this and thank you everyone.
Yes. And
As you see, I put in my finger is because I read your content. I read it. Always I read it. I put in this.
yes, and if you haven't already, before we get into all the chisme, if you haven't already, please subscribe. It's right here
In the
somewhere. And remember, this show is 100%
Bilingual.
bilingual, 100% bilingüe. Así que pon los subtítulos si no entiendes. If you don't understand, just put the subtitles on right here. They're in English and Spanish, en español and English. Okay.
Okay,
Let's
ready
get
to
into
the
it.
chismes.
Chisme. Okay. Okay. I think it's really important we got to define this shit because there's a lot of people that don't know.
Oh my God.
Okay. So I don't even know where to begin. Okay. So a jinetero or a jinetera is, for lack of a better word in
Mhm.
English, is a hustler.
I know. That's true. That's a hustler.
But
In English.
yeah, but 90% of the time we use the word jinetero in a sexual context,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but to even take it a step further, a jinetero is somebody in a sexual context.
Yeah.
Their clients or who they're going after, right,
Mhm.
are foreigners. So there's
Always.
two types of kind of jineteros. There's ones that it's a direct transaction, like sex tourism, like prostitutes, right?
Yeah.
Let's say it. They're prostitutes.
Yeah. Of course.
Or the sex workers, where the foreigner definitely knows what's happening. It's a mutual transaction.
Yeah.
Just, hang out with me in the sun, in the resort for a few days. I'll pay you. There's that.
Economic is
Right.
another one.
And then a lot of the times when we talk about jineteros, it's in the context of a Cuban who will seek out a foreigner to make them fall in love with them, to get out of the country, to get
That's
a visa, or other economic, support them financially.
Financial.
But really, the foreigner thinks that this person is, in love with them.
I feel it's everyone stay outside to Cuba is possibility, target for that people. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
In this moment, in my opinion, everyone stay outside to Cuba is a target for that people.
I mean, you would know, right, Joel?
Because, babe, I'm a doctor and hustler. Because stay with you 6 years half, and that was a really hard job for jinetero life. Let me tell you, don't do it. because it's really
No, I mean,
Whoa.
no, I mean, Joel and I always joke that he's my jinetero, my hine. But no, but really, there.
But let me tell you something seriously. In this case, I feel it's not directly, but I can consider the jinetero too, because directly, not because I love you, we do this because we want it, but in some way, that's the people want it. That's a jinetero do it,
Yeah, like, yes, they'll fall in love with somebody. It doesn't even have to be a foreigner. It could just be like a Cuban American that lives in the United States. They'll go out, anyone that lives outside of Cuba.
Cuban people too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Oh yeah, I mean, and so in Cuba, being a jinetero is technically illegal still.
Oh yeah, it's illegal. Not technically, it's illegal.
But it's so much now a part of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
You see them everywhere you go, and you mostly see them really in tourist places.
Wow, of course, 100%. It's more the tourist place.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell who is a jinetero just by the way that they look, the way that they dress. You can tell right away. And Cubans can tell right away who's a foreigner or who lives at least on the outside.
Yeah.
You can tell like that, just the way that you're dressed, your skin color, the way you walk, like everything. From a mile away, a Cuban's going to know.
That's right.
And so they target these foreigners. And a lot of the time it's a girl.
Yeah.
There's guys too.
Wait. That's funny. No, maybe it's more of...
It's definitely more
No, I feel
women.
more as male people.
No.
Men, yeah. I'm sure.
No way.
Okay, guys, if you see this podcast, tell me how you think about it. Is more men or more is woman?
The foreigner men or
no, it's okay, jinetero.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's more.
No, I feel it's more men.
Yes, of course.
Oh, I can understand.
No, yeah, the foreigner is a woman.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, way more than a man.
Way more than a man. And that's a love of history. That's another topic.
Well, we'll get into that later. But yeah, they usually go to the tourist places.
Yeah.
Obviously it happens more in Havana because that's where that's where all the tourists go. And there's this, actually, let's pull up that video.
Okay. Let's put it that video.
Show that video.
Okay. I want to show you that video. Okay. This is a video. Oh my God.
So, I mean, you guys probably don't see it, but we see a ton of jineteros in that video.
That for me was a shock. That's that's for my first time that was my first time in Havana. Going to the nightclub for tourist people.
Yeah, mine
when
too.
I see that guy, and that moment say, these people jinetero.
Did it make you feel uncomfortable?
Yeah. Yeah, because I come into the farmer place, and for me, I saw many jineteros in my state. But this is a few, But when you stay in Havana and this nightclub, say, wow.
Well,
how many?
Yeah, it made me feel super uncomfortable too because
they hunted.
Yeah, because obviously, like, I just felt like, oh my God. It just makes me feel so uncomfortable because I know what they are, but there's so many people, like the girls there.
Oh yeah,
they don't know jinetero. They don't know this culture. They don't know this. Innocent girls, and they just don't know.
And they know the guys jineteros know that.
It could be girl. It could be jineteros
because
too.
Experience. But that more the people have experience.
Right. But if I felt so uncomfortable too, and then I remember, when we first started our relationship in La Habana, everywhere we went, I felt so uncomfortable because I was like, oh my God, they're going to think that Joel is a jinetero.
I know. That's my feeling. That's what my feeling.
And I just remember when we first started, it was like so uncomfortable, even to hold your hand because everyone looks and everyone judges, right? if you're Cuban, you look at a relationship that's a Cuban and a foreigner,
I
the
know.
first thing you're thinking of is, oh, that guy or the Cuban is playing her.
And that people don't care if you have a boyfriend or husband. It's you that they have the opportunity or see the opportunity. Is you alone, she alone. I say she alone, they are taken.
Oh yeah.
Forget the boyfriend, forget the
Yeah.
husband. They don't care that.
Yeah, there were many times where we were in Cuba. We had like my girlfriends would come over from the United States, or that Joel had clients from the US and I would take the girls out because he didn't want to take them out.
Oh yeah.
And oh my God, there'd be so many times where like these guys would they would see the ring, they would see everything, and they just don't care. They just don't care. I knew what they were doing. But the girls just don't care. I mean, there's another place too, Fábrica de Arte.
Oh yeah, that's the most famous.
That's probably the most famous
place for these people.
Yeah,
that's the most famous place.
Oh,
I want to show you how is the okay. This is Art Factory. It's famous. It's famous in Havana. The most famous place.
Actually, it's a really cool place.
No, yeah. It's really
cool. It's like an art museum meets a club meets a music venue. It is very, very cool.
For me, it was a really surprise.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like you're like dancing with art everywhere. And then the next room is like a theater. Then the next room is a bar. Then the next room is like where you can get food. It's really cool. So that has attracted a lot of foreigners to go.
Only for the foreign people and the few Cuban people. I told you that for me was a shock because I never think about it. We have that in Cuba. And that's another picture. But
well, that's a whole
that when you see this, I say, wow.
That's a whole other topic. But yeah, so show them the video.
Okay, this.
I like this song. Oh my gosh. I don't know why, but that video makes me cry. You know why? We had so many good times there.
So many good times. I remember this place there. You know that big map of Cuba? Make it.
Yeah.
I love it, babe. I love it. We have many history.
Oh yeah.
My God.
I don't even know how many times we went there.
In the 5 times, I say, babe, go along. I don't want to go. I don't want to go there.
We had so many good times there. But yeah, that place gets a lot of jineteros.
Oh my!
A lot of.
Let me tell you, the Art Factory was at the beginning of the big starter was when we there in Cuba. That's it, no?
Yeah,
because the first time when we go with you, I don't see that many jineteros. That many jineteros that time.
I don't remember.
When the year passed, I say, hey, we have. I told you. Remember, I told you, say, hey, I saw many.
I do not remember my first time.
Here.
No, I don't even remember.
Drastically, he said, hey, that's weird.
Yeah, but I think. I mean, it's just so much part of the culture now, and I think, all of this jinetero, being a jinetero and this culture of being a jinetero has resulted because of the economic situation in Cuba. And, people are just doing whatever they can to try to get out of Cuba. And that they target a lot of foreigners.
Taking money.
Yeah.
Because it's easy money.
And then something that I think many Cubans do not want to talk about that's very taboo is the sex tourism industry in Cuba.
Wow.
I mean, it is on another level, I've never seen anything like it, to be honest with you.
I feel the government, of course, they know that, but the government say, I'm blind, I don't want to look in.
Yeah.
Because that people in some way, are part of the economy. Because take money. Give me money because I go to the store in Cuba.
But even though jinetear, okay, so the verb is jinetear. They'll jinetear just to get like a free meal. Just to even get a free meal. Like they don't have to pay or go to a restaurant or even a beer,
That was
they
the
will-
beginning.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that was the beginning of the jineterismo.
What? Oh,
Yeah, it's give me some clothes, give me some food, give me some milk.
I know
give
they
me
have their
some
tactics.
travel, whatever you beach, tourist beach.
Yeah.
That was the beginning.
Yeah.
When that people evolution, they say, hey, we can win money because you know, the foreign people say, hey, we used to in my country giving tips, you know. When I suppose that somebody say, hey, thank you for you coming. Thank you for showing me this beach. Thank you for showing me this place. I don't know. Okay, taking 25.
And well, Joel, prostitución siempre ha existido.
I know, but in Cuba, I told you, the beginning was that something is material, and the evolution, material and money, and more money, and that coming to the visa, and that coming to go out to Cuba.
Yeah,
it's really.
But there's
really
just the amount of people doing it in either form, either trying to have the foreigner fall in love with them, or just straight up prostitution. The amount of people. And it's women and men. Oh. I mean, don't you remember? I will never forget this. Don't you remember when we fell off the motorcycle? Remember?
Oh, yeah.
And we had to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And then we went back to the hospital so they could clean us up and redo our bandages.
Yeah.
Do you remember that guy with the polki?
Oh, the old man.
Yeah.
The old man. Oh,
he picked me up one day. I don't know where you were, but he picked me, you guys, he picked me up one day, and in the car, he's taking me to the hospital. No, es un vecino.
No,
okay,
no. It's somebody in the street.
Yeah.
Somebody in the street.
And he picks me up. He goes, "I'll take you to the hospital." And there was a girl. She had to have been 14 years old, 15 years old.
15,
she was
15.
Very young.
Very young.
And she's in the front, and he goes, "Well, I'm just have to drop her off." And I'm like, "Okay." And then, he drops her off. And then afterwards, he starts talking to me. He just starts telling me, "Oh, that's, she was a little prostitute."
Shit.
And I was like, "Oh my God." And she goes, I don't know how we got on this conversation, but he tells me, I paid her, all she wanted to do was go from one side of Pinal al otro side of Pinal.
Shit.
That's all she wanted, was to have a transportation from this side of Pinal to other side of Pinal. So she did something with him. I don't know what.
I know.
Just for that. And she was probably 15 years old. I swear. Shit. And I was like, this is out of, like, that was a moment where I was like, this is crazy.
I know.
Because it got worse. Really, it got way worse.
Maybe that girl don't have a good family, parent,
yeah.
Something economic is say, hey.
Yeah, but I think, what happens is with these foreigners, and I will speak because of my perspective, being American and being Cuban and in this water, I think what happens is that a lot of American I will say girls, let's say girls, because I can only talk about women.
Okay.
Here in the United States, a lot of women probably don't get the attention because men are, I think here in the United States, men are a little bit more reserved. They're a little bit more like, they're not as aggressive in Cuba, the men are aggressive. Like they will tell you, you are beautiful in the street, walking down the street. They'll tell you they're beautiful.
That's the big topic. And the love.
Yeah, that's another topic.
That's another topic because we really huge.
Yeah. So what happens is American girls come to Cuba and all of a sudden they get all this attention.
I know.
And
they know. That guy know.
And they don't know. So when you're American and you have never been in a country where there's this kind of culture where there's people who have double intentions for a visa or for this or for that, no?
Dominican
they
is
don't
country.
know. There's other countries that do it. Dominican Republic, where there's sanky pankies. That's what they call their jineteros.
Machetero.
See.
Something nice.
But they come to Cuba or these countries, they don't know that this culture exists. And they've never, American girls have never, or men too, they've never had to think, oh, is this person using me for a visa? Is this person using me for, you just don't think about that when you live here in the United States.
I know.
So you're not trained to believe that, oh, this guy is using me for X, Y, and Z.
That's right.
You really have this emotional connection. Cuban men are very charming. He would know, and I would know.
She stayed 6 years and a half with me.
Charming indeed. Cuban men are very charming, and you know, you meet him at a club. You meet him at a club like Fábrica de
Yeah.
Arte or 1800, ¿cómo se llama?
30.
1830. You meet them at these tourist places. They say, "Ay, mamacita. Ay, mami, qué rica tú estás." ¿Me entiende? Like, ay, how beautiful. And you
Qué
fall
bien
in
te
love with
ves.
it.
Me
Oh, yeah,
gusta
let's
cómo-
hear. Let's
me
hear.
gusta cómo caminas. ¿Dónde tú eres? Oh, de que te vi pasar, ese movimiento, me encanta.
You've had a lot of practice with this, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh,
De
yeah.
carao.
Yeah. That's why I was still with you 6 years.
Okay, well, so then the American girl comes and they don't know.
I know, but that's sad.
They don't know.
I understand that.
And so let me also tell you is that not only are these, you know, usually the jineteros are doing this, but the whole family is in it too. The whole fucking family is in it
because
too.
the family is they know that because that's good for the family. That's money for the family.
The
They are
whole
bringing
family-
money for the family.
Let's you want to tell them about that one?
No. Let me tell you something, guys. She talking to about the woman. I want to show you the video. How the woman. How
Oh, yeah,
she talking about the jinetero. How is the price? How I can do it? She can do it. What how he do it? You know. I want to show you something. How you? But I wanted you to see
Okay.
our idea.
Yeah,
What we're
let's see.
talking about.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. This is the video. Okay, ready?
Ese es un trabajo duro. Entonces, ¿por qué dedicarse a él?
Bueno, nosotros pensamos, hay muchas formas de buscar el dinero, trabajando, estudiando, pero realmente no es tan sencillo, es muy difícil. Necesidad.
¿Cuánto cuesta pasar un día o pasar una noche contigo?
Yo voy,
No, keep going.
I want to stop that. Look at how she live. I wanted the people understand how she live. You know, we continue how she live. Look at that, guys. Jeez, ahora se me fue.
¿Cuánto cuesta pasar un día o pasar una noche contigo?
yo voy, si alguien lo desea, a veces espero que sean que me digan. Calle, corremos el riesgo de que no paguen bien. En la calle aquí hay chicas que 50, 40 y hasta 20. Hay unas que te pagan 200, 250.
¿Es esa experiencia que te ha marcado, digamos, que ha sido dura o difícil?
Muchas veces te encuentras con personas que sucias, que no les gusta como que bañarse, hacer cosas que realmente no son nada agradables. Entonces ya realmente lo hago por mi bebé. En ese momento pienso mi hijo, y me sale.
Cuando tú piensas en el futuro, ¿cómo lo ves? Tu futuro, el tuyo. Tú tienes 18 años.
I wanted Marisa to translate that because I don't want to put it the letter because for me it was emotional. She said, the guy asking, "Hey, tell me if you see your future, something you see a dream in this business and in your life." That's he said here.
Años. Cuando te ves a los 30, a los 40, a los 50.
Look
¿Qué
the
ves?
answer.
Nada, no veo nada.
She say
Nothing.
That's when I explain my vision of the American dream, and we come back to the old podcast. That's happened.
Yeah.
You know, she say nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No veo futuro.
¿Cuántas veces vas al centro de La Habana a trabajar? A la semana, por ejemplo.
Todos los días.
Every day.
De lunes a lunes. El turismo juega un papel fundamental en todo esto. Esa es la industria más importante del país.
That's true.
Es la que trae el dólar, ¿no?
Is you looking that moment here? Maybe that guy is the boyfriend of the husband.
No, that Planeta Juan.
No. I'm talking the
Oh.
guy in the video.
Oh. That's Planeta Juan.
Babe, the guy around here.
Hablando.
No, el chico que está ahí sentado.
Oh, I can't even see it.
Oh my
okay,
God,
okay.
she's blind. Maybe that guy is the husband.
Is the pimp.
Yeah. Maybe the
El
boyfriend.
chulo. Vamos a
El
ver.
chulo is another definition of jinetero, but in Cuban life. And that's happened. Maybe the brother, but we
Yeah.
have many history. Marisa can tell you now one history
I mean,
about that.
But this goes towards that just goes towards what we were talking about earlier, is that prostitution exists everywhere in the world.
Oh yeah.
Even here in the United States.
Yeah.
But the Cuban culture goes even a step further, and the whole pretending that you're in love with a foreigner.
Mhm.
I mean, you and I have had so many stories about this.
Huge history.
I mean, because we were in, the whole tourism sector in Cuba, and we were doing that for a little bit, we met an ungodly amount of girls. It was mostly girls.
And we are bad.
Did we meet a guy that was a foreigner? A guy?
Oh yeah.
Who?
Fat boy, little strong boy, because the woman he has the
Who?
I don't know. You told me one day she married some Cuban girl,
Oh.
and the girl say, "Hey, the next day, send me money."
No. But I didn't really know him. But we have so many stories about this, and okay. So one story. I don't even know where to. I mean, I feel for the foreigner, I really do. But I have, we have a friend, or I wouldn't really call her my friend.
Okay. We know her.
Which story should I say?
We have many.
I don't know
what you talking about. What do you do? What do you say? I don't know.
Well, okay. So I know one, just to put it really simple. I know one that this guy, I met him in Centro Habana.
Yeah.
And he told me, because we were talking, I don't even know who I was with. I don't remember what the situation was, but I met him. I think it was with Evan. And I met him and we start talking, and he tells me that he has seven foreign girls.
That's fucking
and
huge.
Yes, he has 7 foreign girls. He has one from Mexico. He has a couple Canadians. He has a couple Americans. He has 7 different girlfriends. He literally changed. This is another tactic that they do, is that they change the pictures inside the house.
Oh my God.
So when the girl comes, the family changes the pictures.
That's really fucked up. It's
so crazy.
The family, he is a good director of movie.
It's crazy because he'll be like, almost every month he'll have another girlfriend come to Cuba.
That's really sad.
It is so sad. It's like, and then the family knows about it and is in it, and they have
that. For me, the most worst.
That's the worst. That is the worst.
The family support that.
And you know what? It's not, by all means, every single foreigner relationship is a jinetero situation.
That's right.
By no means. But this happens so frequently that that's why people look at people on the street, and if they're a foreigner Cuban, that's why the first thing you think of, este está jugando con ella. Oh, ¿me entiende? But we just had one recently that a friend of, I'm not going to say her name, but a friend of mine sent to me. There's these Facebook groups, these Facebook groups of how to get your man out of Cuba.
Chisme group.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Chisme group.
So good.
Not the Facebook group. Not the Facebook group. It's Chisme group.
It is so good. These girls are literally insane. But they're like 90 Day Fiance insane. We just had a story. She sent it to me. And I'm like, my jaw's on the floor. To put it, long story short, this woman marries this Cuban guy from England, has her entire family come to Cuba to do the entire wedding, you guys. This is it's not cheap. The families got together. They did this whole big wedding. A few months passed by. Mm-hmm. And she comes back to Cuba, and I don't really know what happened. It's kind of playing telephone here, but I don't really know what happened. But she knew that the relationship was over. She goes back to London, and she's like, she figures out that he doesn't want to come back with her, right? Okay. And he wants to go to Miami. And she goes, "Why would you go to Miami if you have your wife in England?" And so that's quite kind of ripped them apart. And so she went back to England, but she found out she was pregnant. She found out she was pregnant. I know. I didn't tell you this story. She found out she was pregnant. And I don't even know this girl. Like, I don't even know this girl, but I felt so bad for her. Found out she was pregnant. She told the guy, and the guy's like, don't worry, I'm going to be there for the child. She finds out that on WhatsApp, you can change your status on WhatsApp. And then she saw his status one day, and I guess he didn't realize that you could see. And it was like, in a couple hours, I'm going to be with the love of my life. And it was him crossing the border from Mexico to United States.
Fuck.
And she figured out, long story short, that he had a girlfriend while he was in Cuba, a long-time girlfriend. In Cuba, the family knew, everybody knew because it was a long-time girlfriend. He sold everything that this British girl gave to him, including his ring, including his wedding ring.
I know. I got it. It's so many
to pay
people.
for the coyote and all that, the trip from Cuba to the United States.
He sell
for
all?
his girlfriend and himself.
He sell all?
What?
He sell all the house?
He sold,
she buy?
I mean, enough so that he can send the girlfriend
course, I believe in
and
that.
himself. Isn't that fucking crazy?
That-
And I was like, I feel so bad. I don't even know who this girl is, but I'm like, that is horrible. That's fucked up.
I know. Many more histories.
And I mean, there's so many more stories we can tell you guys.
Remember when you told me when you live in Havana, that girl, I don't know it was what country it was, they can have a lot of hair in the legs. For me, I looking like a man and thinking like a man. When she told me, hey, I know somebody, she coming for me. She coming with me because she wanna, change history. You advise her. And Marisa told me, hey, she have a boyfriend. He's a musician,
a rapper,
something like that.
Maybe. I don't know what music it was actually.
He needed money. You told me, hey, she told me, say, he asking me for money for the career.
Yeah.
And the guy have a son or daughter?
I don't know.
Sons, yeah, they have a one son or two sons.
I think he had like two sons or something.
He asking money for the son too.
Yeah. And the girl would give him, she would send him like $300 a month. And I'm like, you send him $300 a month?
That's not the problem. The problem is the intention.
Problem.
What he say, hey, you need to send me money. You need to help me. For me, that's alarm.
And that girl, I still remember her to this day. She is such a fucking sweetheart. That girl is so nice. And I knew that he was using her. I told her several times he's using her.
Yeah, I know.
And she just didn't want to believe it. She didn't want to believe it. And, it's hard. It's hard to be in that situation.
I remember Marisa when she told me that. I say, I don't see so she continues. Say, babe, in 4 months, they continue with him.
Yeah.
Remember my word. It wasn't 7 months or 9 months. You come and say, yes, the girl continue with the guy.
Yeah. She still might even be with him like all these years later. I don't know. I haven't talked to her in a long time.
That's another history one. That's a huge problem in the Cuba community. No problems. I don't know the situation we're talking that, but I feel sad for that people.
I do too. I mean, there's just so many stories.
So many histories.
So many. Do you remember? Oh, this is a good one. Do you remember Leonette's mom? Okay, our friend's mom is a lawyer in Cuba. She's an international lawyer in Cuba. So she deals with a lot of foreigners and problems with foreigners.
Yeah.
And don't you remember she told us about the guy she told us about the jinetero that had the Canadian, I think she was Canadian woman. And so it's important to know this story. In Cuba, you can, as a foreigner, you cannot own any property legally. You have to put it under a Cuban's name.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a whole other scam too.
I know how to scam too.
And so this woman married this guy. They bought a house in, remember?
Yeah, I remember. Oh my God.
That was bad.
The gay. The
Okay,
gay guy.
so
Okay,
what-
keep going. Keep going.
you
because
just
I
gave it
remember.
away.
It's, oh my god, no, sorry. But you continue, it's fine.
Oh
it's
my
fine.
God,
It's really sad. But it's good.
But okay, so she married this guy. They bought a like $200,000
300.
how yeah
300.
like one of those really 1940s 50s art deco mansion houses
Yeah.
in Cuba. If you've ever been
In
to Cuba,
Havana.
yeah, like they're pretty expensive,
Oh,
those
yeah.
houses.
Oh.
They're huge and they're beautiful antique houses. She buys this house in $300,000 pro, and she also buys a separate property for the mother. They live together for I don't even know how long, I don't know, but you gave it away. But at the end, he's fucking gay.
He was a
He
fucking
was
guy.
gay and he had Cuban lovers all in the house.
Mhm.
The woman lost everything.
No, you know what?
They lost
No,
the entire house.
you forget that part. She came in and the door was closed.
Oh yeah, he
She
changed the
can-
locks.
He changed the
She
lock.
changed the lock, and there was nothing
Nothing.
that the lawyer could do, because in Cuba, that's just the law. That the Cuban owns the property, not the foreigner.
Not the foreigners.
And so
And the government tell you, hey,
She
you
lost-
can buy the house.
she
That's
lost
your
out
property.
$300,000, and not just $300,000, like everything that she put in the house, all the money that she probably spent to get to Cuba every time. I mean, this woman probably spent and wasted $600,000 easily.
More. You support 300,000. Maybe
Ma-
in the
mas-
past they are coming more.
yeah, that's
they're
what I
coming-
mean.
Yeah,
And
it's, fuck.
furnishing the house, all of that stuff.
I know this is crazy.
It's crazy. Like the amount of times we've heard stories about the same thing, like people taking away property. I mean, one of our very good friends that
Yeah,
that
we
happened to
saw
them.
That fucking guy. I don't want to say the name. Because
Yeah, we're not gonna say his name, but
this is fucked up. And that's another huge history. The insane.
yeah,
Because we know both sides. And say her and say my wife Marisa, hey, he's danger.
yeah.
He's danger.
That one was crazy too.
yeah, it
Maybe
was
one day
crazy, but-
I will expose him because he deserves to be exposed.
Disposed because
But,
the people they know that.
Yeah.
Need to know.
But it's crazy that this happens, and it's so taboo in the culture. But it's like everyone knows.
You know what happened? Because and as you know why the jineteros go, for example, I'm thinking back our beginning our podcast. These jineteros go to nightclub. Why go to nightclub? Because you say, hey, Havana, what I hear is salsa, casino, that type of life that the woman go there.
Yeah.
And he know,
Yeah.
that jinetero people know, hey, we need to go that place. That the work.
I mean, I feel so uncomfortable with you all the time.
You know what happened?
There.
That's what I saw in my state. They using bicycle. The jineteros in my state, the beginning was using bicycle
For what?
for taking the tourists. No, that was for me. When I see that, I say, wow.
In Pinar.
Oh yeah, let me tell you that.
¿Dónde?
In the Pinar del Rio Hotel.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
know
yeah.
that-
Oh,
all
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
big
yeah.
avenue, the center of the
Yes,
street.
yes, and I remember.
Hey, the people
Yeah.
every day, 3 or 4 guys wait there every day. They know the only entrance for more possible the foreign people coming to Pinar del Rio is that way, because the best street, because the road, everything. That people, one of the guy go maybe 3 miles before coming to the center of the city and call the people in the city.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
Hey,
another trick that
Is
they
the
do
car
too.
is a
Yeah.
car plague number,
Yeah,
blah
yeah,
blah
yeah,
blah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the people in the city, the jineteros in the city, take the bicycle.
Yeah.
When I see the car, he's stopping
Yeah,
in
but
the
those
middle of the
wait,
car.
but those jineteros are not sexual jineteros.
No. Wait. Let me finish the history. Stop the car. You suppose the car is coming?
Yes, and they make it believe that you need to have a tour guide.
Yeah, but in that moment, if you have only 2 women in the car, suppose 2 female women in the car, foreign female, They say, hey, it's too female. Someone, hey, taking my bicycle, I go to the girl, and that's opportunity. Hey, come on here, come on here.
Yeah.
But in the end, they want to show the place, but they want to sex too.
Yeah. I mean, that happens.
That
happened to me
happened.
one time when we were taking somebody to
Oh, yeah.
Viñales. So
You
they
know
stopped
that.
us, and I was like, please, por favor.
I know.
But the driver gets a kickback from that too.
Yeah, of course.
And it's all like this secret thing that everybody knows about. Like I could have easily told the jinetero to come in the car and he would have given me money.
That people have,
But I
that
know.
people earn more money que yo.
Yeah, I mean, but if you think about it, look at that woman that went out, right? She goes out and prostitutes herself for $20 a day. That's more than what somebody would make in a month.
How I earned in the month? 40, suppose 40. And that time was 12. In that time, 12. Is that people only go to the hitchhike with the tourist people around every day? Maybe 50.
Yeah, I mean, so if you have a society that's making like $100 a month, now they make $100 a month, and you can make that 2 days.
I know.
On the street, or have a lover, or have a foreign lover that's makes that's in love with you, and they send you money every month, $100 every month. And you sit down and do nothing. Why would you want to work?
I know. Why do you need to work?
It's easier to be a prostitute than
or many of the girls of Cuban
or jinetera or jinetero to than work. And you see that a lot.
They have girlfriend too. That
I know they all have girlfriends.
And the
I know.
girlfriend say, hey, I don't need to work. My boys are jineteros. That can go say one day have $100.
Yeah, and the Cuban women, a lot of Cuban women who their partners are jineteros with these foreign women, they just turn a blind eye. They go, okay, when the foreigner is here.
And that game become another jinetera because the husband say, hey, you want to earn $100? Come with me.
Yeah.
And she go.
It's crazy. It's the wild, wild west in Cuba, you guys. It's wild. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean, we have stories for fucking days. We have so many fucking stories.
I want to say this. Not only the woman happened that, because you see that video of the woman, the men do it the same. The men do it the same.
Yes, it's men and women.
Oh, yeah. No, because I don't want to say the people, no, you put in only woman. No, the men do it the same.
No, the men definitely do the same. That the men do the charming and making believe. I think the women jineteras, I think they have more ethic than the men's, because more the women jineteras, the jineteras, at least it's like a contract, and most of the time she's not trying to fall in love with the jinetero, with the foreigner.
That's right.
The jinetero is the one that's engañando.
That's right.
Lying
that's right.
To the foreigner. You know what I mean?
I know. I got it.
So, I mean, Cuba is
it's crazy.
And I just feel bad for so many of these foreign women that think that they're like actually in love with a Cuban man. I mean, we can tell from a fucking mile away who is a jinetero.
Let me tell you last history. Let me tell you the last history.
Yeah, what?
Oh my God, that's for me
hilarious. Who?
We have the friend. You know, remember Guillermo, my friend?
Yeah. He was a jinetero?
No, wait. He won it.
I bet he did.
Because
I bet he
have
did.
A situation, gonna make a situation. But he is a good guy. He told me, hey, I have the friend. He's jinetero. He's the mulatto too. And they made an old woman, maybe 60, 61, something. And she told me, hey, man, I don't like it. It's old woman. Oh my God, old woman. The guy was maybe 25.
Okay,
younger.
What happened?
He know the woman. The woman say, hey, I give him to money, give him to... Guillermo said, in the beginning, he don't want it. Sex with the old lady.
Oh, the old lady wanted some?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay.
And he said, no, I don't want it. But when the day passed, when the months passed, the old lady came, pay again. One day, the guy say, Guille, I don't care the old woman. I'm used to it. I can have sex with her.
You can? He can?
He can. He's saying then he changed the mind. Say, I can sex with the woman.
I did not know that
At the
about
beginning, he don't want
Guillermo.
it. Say, no, you know that. Oh, woman, I'm young.
And now he's like, whatever.
Whatever.
How long
he don't care.
How long did that last for?
Oh, maybe 1-2 years.
Stop.
And the old lady say, hey, maybe you can with me in Europe, because the lady was in Austria, it was Norway or something like that in the Europe. And he say, Guille, that's an opportunity. I don't care the old woman. He don't care the old woman, because when he go to Europe, say, lady, goodbye. I said goodbye.
Oh, well, you know what? You know what? Actually, I can one up you.
Suppose the young people. Let's do it. That happened.
Yeah.
Suppose the old lady.
I can one up you a story.
Oh my God.
Do you remember this?
We stay all day.
I know. Wait. This one's good. This one's juicy.
This is the last. This is the last history.
I have a good one. I have a good one. Do you remember that European girl that she wanted to live in Cuba?
The
one I just told you about yesterday.
She want to have a baby in Cuba? That girl?
Okay. Remember we met her? She was like, we were like influencers in Cuba, and she met us. God. And she was talking to us about she's just obsessed with living in Cuba. She's like obsessed with living in Cuba.
Oh my God.
She had been living in Cuba with her girlfriend. I think she's bisexual. She had been living with a girl, a Cuban woman, for 5 years. So she definitely knows what a jinetero is. And she's just obsessed with, and she's like, Mari, I want to have a Cuban baby. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like, why would you want a Cuban baby and live in Cuba with a baby? This is not the place to have a Cuban baby.
That's true.
Like, you can't even find fucking formula. You can't find diapers. What are you going to do? And I was like, this, in my mind, I didn't say anything to her. I was like, she is out of her mind. She's crazy. And so I see last month. Okay, so then out of nowhere on Facebook, I see that she got married to a guy. And I was like, whoa. And so she's telling the story in her Facebook post. She met him a month before, 1 month before, married him. Right? Long story short, they went back to Hungary or wherever the fuck she's from. I don't even know where the fuck she's from. European country. They got the paperwork. And in the meantime, while they were waiting for the paperwork, they went back to Cuba. She just got pregnant. She just announced that she's pregnant. And the guy is back in whatever country.
Yeah.
Getting his paperwork so that he can move to Spain.
Oh my God.
And she is in Cuba by herself, pregnant. I'm like, bitch, go back home. Like, what are you doing?
I feel this.
And she's like, I want a baby born in Cuba. I want a baby born in Cuba. I want a baby born. I'm like, you are delusional. Point blank, delusional. And so you have that sort of stories too. Like, it's so obvious that he was using you so he leaves the country. This was like literally 2 weeks ago.
Maybe she talking to the guy, say, hey, I want a baby with you. I don't care what are you saying. I don't care what are you doing.
But why would you want to bring a child in this world without
issues.
your husband?
They have mental issues. That's it. Mental issues.
Then you're so gung-ho about that baby being born in Cuba because you have some obsession with Cuba.
Now
it's so weird.
It's crazy. That's happening for foreign people. That stupid girl. Sorry, this is in Cuba we can have it, baby. Now the teenager now the juventud. That's correct in my English. Now you asking, hey, you have a baby? You want a baby in Cuba? No, I don't want it.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants a baby.
I want a baby in another country.
But yeah, she's crazy. And I'm like, you know what a jinetero is, and you fell for it, and you knew that this would happen. Like, what else did you think was going to happen? Like, what did you think was going to happen? You barely knew the guy. You met him 1 month earlier, which is another tactic that these guys do. They propose to you within a week.
She lived for 5 years before in Cuba. She knows that. She knows that.
And I'm like, there's just something wrong with you. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many stories. We could go on and on and on about this topic. It's so good. I mean, we could probably make a podcast just on different stories that we know.
Oh my God. This is
the guy that faked a coma.
We need to stop it here because
remember
the guy want to continue.
Remember the guy that faked the coma?
No. Okay. That's another history. We're not doing this now. That's coming to the love history too. Because in another topic, podcast live, we talk about the love. How is
Yes.
the love?
So we're gonna be doing this podcast, hopefully with some friends of ours, about relationships in Cuba and how they differ so much
Oh my
than
God.
relationships in America. And in that will be the topic of Jineteros también. But
Hey, ladies, American girl, be careful where you going in the Caribbean because we have that power. I don't know this have something in the history of our life,
listen,
but the Caribbean, men, I don't know in Latin America it's happened too, but the Caribbean have that. I'm not I said, I don't know
don't
what's
fall
in
for
English.
it, girls. Don't fall for it.
Yeah, and why you with me?
You and I were different.
Why we different? I'm a Cuban.
Because our families knew each other. Like, come on.
that happened to
Joel.
the people too.
Joel, you
That
and I,
people
our
change the-
families knew each
that
other.
people change the
we
fra-
met
the
in our
farmer.
neighborhood. Like, come on. Come on.
It's so hard for me.
You really wanted to be a PhD in Jineterismo.
I know. I want to show these people how it work.
Do it.
I love you, but don't worry. Okay, guys. Bye.
Bye.
We love
You're
you.
done. I'm done.
Ciao, I done.
I'm done
This
with
is
you.
fucked up.
Okay, goodbye.